board prescription CBRX. Looking out for you and what is next. Independent reviews on what is next. Cutting board prescription CBRX.
Hi there, knife people. Hello, lady and gentlemen. Did you like my intro? Today we're talking about this brand. Don't you worry, this is not an unboxing video. Because in my opinion, unboxings are pretty much a waste of your time unless there's something specifically special about how the knife is packaged. Packaging is packaging. We're looking at Fintiso, or I heard another reviewer calling it Fintiso. I like it better, Fintiso. Fintiso. I'll try to roll with that, but forgive me if I call it Fintiso through the video, because I already reviewed 5 of their knives. 3 of them I purchased with my own funding. They provided 2 more, and now I got another knife from them. This is Fintiso Parrot, and they gave me a choice of what color I wanted. So I picked this one because, you know, Parrot. I like the contrast here between the black G10 and orange G10. They're one piece. They're not overlaid. It's all one piece. I guess the material itself was layered before it's machined into this final shape. And the knife runs on the internal frame. And if you look at the edges here, it looks like it's a stamping. I heard people say it's a milling, but I think it's a progressive press stamping, which is an inexpensive way to produce it, except it may lead to quality control issues down the line in assembly. And the reason I say it's stamped, see how the edge rolls in a little bit? Water jet or milling would not have that. I don't know why I'm going into fabrication weeds. I'd like to get straight to the point, or to be more precise, to the edge. So here is how the edge looks under the microscope. The blade shape is somewhere between Warncliffe and sheep's foot, and that's why the tip is very critical to its performance. And as you can see, comparing side to side, there's slight asymmetricity. 14C28N would not be too hard to resharpen, except for where the sharpening choil meets the plunge line of the primary grind, forming what I call a shark fin, which creates a little bit of a recurve, making sharpening a more tedious, harder than necessary process. I recommend removing the factory edge on all knives anyway. Luckily, Sandvik 14C is very easy to sharpen. On my channel, I always say that the heart of the knife is its blade, and the soul of the blade is the material, or more specifically, how well heat treated it is. So let's get it on the test block. I'm about to start the hardness test, but before I do, I traditionally verify the calibration is still good. This block is calibrated at, where is it? 787 HLD, or hardness leap scale. And that's how I calibrate it, and that's how I verify it. I'm going to start the stopwatch so that you know the segment is uninterrupted, unedited, and continuous. And 1.HL is equivalent to 0.07 point on the Rockwell scale, C. So the average 786 points, so it's 0.07 Rockwell point less. I don't think it's something we need to worry about. It does not affect the final result because it's in the noise. And now I am putting incompressible liquid. In this case, like all liquids are incompressible, but in this case I'm using the sanitizing gel, and it allows me to test thinner blades on this thick piece of metal by eliminating any kind of air pockets that could be found on these large flat areas of the blade. And it's 14C28N steel. The ideal range for it is 58 to Rockwell. Some people take it to 61, but you know, Fintiso stays pretty well within this range. It's like I said, it's a 6 blade I'm testing from this company, and they all come in this range, making it a little boring for me. No big revelations here. Let me wipe the gel off because I'm going to test this side. I want it to be dry. Okay. And usually on the knives, especially in the budget price range, the flatness of the tang of the blade varies. And to me, it's part of the deal. That's what you pay for. So let's go with this one. As I can, sometimes when the one side can be less flat than the other, and then you get a reduced reading, as we are likely seeing here. But we're gonna roll with the numbers. So we're just under 58. And if you average between the two sides and add that tiny arrow we detected earlier, we get a smack on 58 Rockwell. Next, I wanted to show you some of the interesting things I discovered when I took it apart. Firstly, it came with one pivot washer, but not on this side. When I remove the washer, there is still a bearing pattern there. So that tells me that the knife was first assembled, then examined, quality control examination, and then they installed this washer, or to be more specific, I think it's a shim, to help either with side play or centering the knife. So while I appreciate this kind of thoughtfulness from them, I am not sure I like the idea. I reassembled the knife, and I know some of my subscribers also follow Metal Complex, and that means they're completely hooked up on unboxings. It's so important to them that I decided to show you how it comes in the box. So you open the box, and then there's a pouch, and in the pouch there's a knife. And the reason this box has another knife is because my tests are so distractive sometimes that I damage the knife, and then I have nothing to send to my viewers during the giveaway. So I asked them to send me two, and I wanted to try their basic G10 and then the aluminum version. Oil here. The aluminum version costs the same amount. I'll just tell you this: they do aluminum really well, so their aluminum handled knives always feel just a little bit more premium than their G10 knives. And that's why if you are considering getting one of those, unless you need this contrasting colors or you're in love with green or black G10, I highly recommend you check out the aluminum version first. I had not been able to damage like this knife. This knife came from Asia, stayed in the US, went with me to Europe, so it's been on 3 continents, and their anodizing looks like new, and so does the finish on the pocket clip. Back to the Parrot, same exact action, almost the same feel in the hand. The weight difference is 0.3 ounces, so this is I believe 3.7, and this one is right at 4 or just under 4, G10 being slightly lighter. And another important thing I wanted to show you, they all came with 4 spare screws, and at first I didn't notice, but now I'm noticing that the screws that are in the knife are black, and the hardware is titanium color gray or dark titanium. And these screws are also dark titanium, so they kind of letting you decide, do you like contrasting black on this gray, or would you prefer gray on gray? I think I prefer gray on gray, and I might be swapping them out later. Well, the reason I pulled this knife out is because, premium or not, I'm going to put it on my Hive Smasher. With the pocket clip removed, I'm placing the knife into the clamping mechanism designed to emulate human hand. Next, I make sure that the lock is still fully operable and can be unlocked with the same ease as if I was just simply using it. The dropping ram on my hype smasher strikes the blade with 80 pounds of force, or 356 newtons, generating 220 inch-pounds of torque at the pivot. If you've seen my other videos featuring the hype smasher, you will notice that I forgot to put a dampening piece of rubber on the blade, and I struck it 4 times instead of 3. Kudos to Fintiso for taking that kind of abuse, and forgive my forgetfulness. I just tested a $270 knife the same way, and the plunger button broke at the stem. So whoever designed, fabricated, and assembled this knife should totally be proud of themselves. This one keeps going like nothing really happened. So what you get with Fintiso is this a really solid budget line, which sort of offers you a little more premium feel for your money. It compares really well with CIVIVI knives, and on average, they are $20 to $30 less expensive without any difference in quality of build and material selection. They're priced, in fact, as the CIVIVI budget line called Sencut, and Sencut selects materials that are a grade below that of CIVIVI or Fintiso, for that matter. I think these guys, they hit the niche. Their regular price is like $54, and they go on sale regularly for under 50, at least 10%. My Fintiso lineup in order of precedence as they came to me. This is the Cobra, still my favorite of the whole lineup. This called the Harp. This one I bought as well as the Cobra myself with my own funds. And then Fintiso provided me this Harp. Those two are Harp for review later. They also provided me with this Falcon liner lock. Very tough knife. I abused it severely, and it made it. Has even fire starting capabilities. And then they have the Atlas, like a classic liner lock, 14C28N, which is on every one of these knives. It's literally the top of the budget steel, bar none. The action is everything you expect from a button lock. Yeah. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Fintiso in general and this knife in particular.